Oh, sometimes a win is so nice, you gotta talk about it twice.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama again. HSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. This episode is brought to you by Mazda. And we'll talk about Mazda here in just a little bit. I want to thank you every day for being here every day. Thank you, newbies, for being here today. And thanks, everybody, for making this your first listen every single day. You guys are the best. Jimmy, I don't know what to say. That was one of the wildest games. Just unbelievable moments. Hair pulling moments and at the same time, like hair raising moments. I mean, just absolutely incredible on so many levels. And the only way I know to start is by being positive and saying just a fantastic win. I know we'll talk about some issues, but that win meant a lot.
I think the important thing, we've done this before, is to talk about the positives after a win, because it's not fun. College football isn't fun if you immediately have to delve into the negatives when you win an SEC game on the road. The SEC is just a brutal place. I really wish that everyone that doesn't understand that could see their teams from their leagues do what Alabama's done. Win 5 SEC games in a row, 3 of them on the road. So few teams, so few could pull that off. So I think that it's just a disservice to the program and to the players and everyone around it to dwell on the negatives tonight. Now, we do our show every single day, and there's an off week. So we've got plenty of time to discuss the problems and issues this team has, which are very apparent. But we need to just focus on the positives, I think, tonight, because hey, Luke, I think it's this simple. If we fall short against LSU or Oklahoma or Auburn, which is very possible, tonight's win got you in the playoffs. That may have delivered Alabama into the playoff, because you could so easily lose to a really good LSU defense, a really good Oklahoma defense, or we all know what kind of issues we have playing in the. How do you describe Jordan Hare? You do it better than I do.
It's a cursed stadium that's built on an ancient burial ground of dead leprechauns riding unicorns.
But you need to assume that things could go sideways there, obviously.
Well, yeah, and of course they got a win today. Auburn did. So I mean, they're going to be like, kind of geeked up again. They're looking for something to hang on to. So I mean, that's a a story for another day. But one thing that I wanted to bring up, I was talking about it earlier, that I didn't notice this at first on Jeremy's big run late, right? He just another incredible play call. And also it blows my mind that we believe, hey, look, if we got to get yards running the ball, we're giving it to this wide receiver that transferred in from Washington. That's the way it is. Now, on his run, did you notice that number 1 for South Carolina checked up and actually put his hands in the air? Like, I don't want to tackle him. And I've been trying to understand why would he do that? Why would he do that? Apparently in Shane Beamer's press conference, he said, if they get a first down, let them score. And I am like, oh my God, that is such backwards thinking to me. Like, because I would rather say, okay, tackle them and let's put the game in the foot of Connor Talty.
Make Connor Talty make a pressure kick, which he never has done going back to his high school days, and who knows if he did it even back then in high school. That's crazy. I think Beamer understandably may have lost his mind. I mean, Beamer may be losing his mind. He's got a good team. They're good. They got a handful of dudes. They're good, and they expected to be a playoff level team. And this has been a disaster. He's gone from, hey, I think I can deliver South Carolina to the playoffs, to, am I still going to be working here next year? So he's probably lost his mind, which is understandable given the handful of dudes he's got. And again, I'm going to try to stay away from Alabama's issues. But no, Jeremy Bernard has elevated, to me, Luke, to the point that, like, he's the reason Alabama wins the games. He's not just a good player. He's the reason Alabama wins the games. Ty Simpson is that way too, and I think Ty probably had his worst day since Florida State, though he found himself late and made the play or plays he needed to late to win the game. But Jeremy Bernard is a winner. He's such a winner and a reason that Alabama wins these games.
Yeah, and it's wild. And the Washington transfers yet again. I mean, I thought Parker Brailsford had a pretty good game. Outside the offensive line didn't have his best game. I thought Brailsford played okay. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say I watched the center all game long, but I felt like I noticed him doing some positive things. Then Cuevas and catches a 2-point conversion and a touchdown. Pretty big deals. And so somebody mentioned in the comments that they don't feel like Jam's been the same since the concussion. I don't know. I think he's been okay. I mean, shoot, he had a nice run in this game early in the game, and it got called right back for holding.
Yeah.
So
Jam's got the weirdest thing going on to me. I might be the only person out there who feels this way. So if you're listening and you're like disagree, I get it, because I'm probably the only person that feels this way. But when you watch Jam play football on a down-to-down basis, I feel like he's pretty good. And then the game's over, and I look at the numbers, and I'm like, that's not good. That's not good. The numbers that he puts up aren't good enough. They're just not good enough. But when I watch him in the moment, I don't think he's bad or non-productive or not helping. It's pretty bizarre. And I feel the same way about Daniel Hill, who did clearly, we were correct. We talked about it this week on the show. Daniel Hill took over as RB2, clearly RB2 now. And I thought did enough things to keep that. And much like Jam, I think if you look at the overall numbers, Luke, you're like, well, he didn't do much. But when you watch it on a snap-by-snap basis, it wasn't that bad. I really think Alabama's run game from the running back position, the problems are largely schematic and the offensive line and the blocking scheme. And for those that say, no, it's the backs, I'll point out to you Justice Haynes. Yeah. Haynes goes somewhere else, plays in a running back-friendly offense, and now he's rushing for a gazillion yards. I refuse to believe that Jam Miller, Daniel Hill, Richard Young, and Kevin Riley are all bad. I refuse to believe that. That's impossible. It's the scheme and the blocking scheme and the commitment and or lack of commitment and the fact that Alabama is a throw the ball first offense. Yeah, and boy, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Talk about going down a rabbit hole. Nobody's more excited about Xavier Crowell coming in next year. He had another big game this Friday night, by the way. But I hope he fits the scheme. Yeah, I think it's just myself, and I'm the last person to ask, but just myself. I think it comes down to commitment. Running the football is not about a play call. It's not about, well, we don't call it enough. Running the football starts in January. It's a commitment that we're a run the ball physical offense. And that commitment starts in January. It doesn't start with, okay, it's 2nd and 4, let's run the ball on this down. That's not a run the ball offense. It's a mindset. And I'm not sure that we have the right mindset is the way I look at it. We're just not physical enough on offense. Very fair. Also we ran the ball more last year, but we had a running back playing quarterback essentially. So somebody, I can't see it, Stanley Davidson at Stanley Davidson 563. I should clarify in case you were thinking of one of the other 562 Stanley Davidsons. A lot of Stanley Davidsons out there. A lot of it's just loaded up with them. Glad we got the best one here. We got the best one of all of them. We won the lottery. Why does every team in the country play the best game against Bama? Because we're Bama. That's what I take pride in that. I do personally, because like if you don't show up against us, you're going to get beat. And if you show up against us, you're probably still going to get beat. But, you earn a lot of respect. And it's just that's what when you're the best. Yeah. And again, I'm not just saying us singularly. When you're Georgia, when you're Ohio State, when you're like that, if people aren't giving you their best every week, it tells you you're not one of the best. To me. Here's another thing that sort of gets me. Let's see if you feel the same way about this. I hear all the time Alabama is everyone's Super Bowl. When I hear that, sometimes I think, for a while the Super Bowl was famous for blowouts. Like one team clearly wasn't ready to play in the Super Bowl. Yeah. The Super Bowl isn't always both teams playing the best game they've played all year in their NFL schedule. As a matter of fact, it's usually the complete opposite of that. The platform is so big, the stage is so elevated, the competition is so crazy good. One team tends to not show up also. I don't like that phrase because it implies that both teams playing in the Super Bowl every year are playing the best game they've played all year. And that's simply not the case. I think the easiest way to explain it, Luke, is, hey, we've all played sports. Everybody to listen to this show has played some kind of sport. I know myself. I mean, I play tennis, and I know it's a terrible analogy compared to football, but I always play my best tennis when I played someone better than me. And I would usually lose because I'm playing someone better than me, but I always felt like that's when I played my best. You know why? I had to. And I think that's what Alabama sees. And obviously, someone else has to explain it better, but I think that's the basis of an explanation.
Yeah. And first of all, somebody said that is South Carolina Super Bowl. Totally agree. And I think it'll be Auburn's Super Bowl. So we better get ready for it. I mean, and people take offense to that, but I think that's one of the big things Auburn's going to be playing for. Now, somebody here, Michael, I can't pronounce that. Lajevich said total BS, Luke. And he means when I did a podcast earlier about that, I said I called out Wilkin Formby in the sense that what I said was there was a moment when Wilkin Formby ran into our tight end who was coming around to block Dylan Stewart, and Formby was trying to get out. And he said, hey, especially when Dylan Stewart did virtually all night. First of all, I'm just pointing out a play. Okay. Secondly, to say Dylan Stewart did nothing all night, you and I didn't watch the same game. I did not watch the same game.
Dylan Stewart was extremely impactful, and it goes beyond the numbers. I think he's going to be the first pick in the 2027 draft. As we sit here today, I think he will be the number one pick in the 2027 draft. He's phenomenal. We did a lot of things. We always tried to have two guys on him, and Luke did bring up. Luke's 100% right. I thought it was Formby's fault, but Formby and Cuevas collided when they were figuring out how to block Dylan Stewart, and then he blew it up. He absolutely crushed Ty one time late in the game when we lost him. He looped around. See, we were doubling him, so when you double him, sometimes they're doubling him, so we're gonna have to loop him. I mean, we're gonna have to get him away from the double teams. That's what they did. And one time he just whacked Ty. The other defensive end, Brian Thomas, is a heck of a player. They're like Missouri. That has Wilson on one end and Zion Young on the other end. And those two, by the way, were a menace today against Vanderbilt, I hear. But they have two. When you have two guys, that's tough. I didn't think Formby had a good day myself, and Proctor was probably worse. And I'm going to have like a whole Proctor rant Monday or Tuesday. It ain't going to be tonight, but Monday or Tuesday, I might have a Proctor rant. The tackles didn't play great. And I don't think the interior played great. As a matter of fact, I think this was Alabama's offensive line at its worst, but I don't want to talk about that because Alabama won the game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think we can.
Carroll didn't play much, and Lance made a good point there. Carroll had a huge penalty, didn't play much. When he did play, that hurt. It just goes to show that whenever, I think this is a mistake a lot of people make. When you have a player that's struggling, they always think the answer is on the bench. Okay, this guy's struggling. The answer's over here, and the coaches are too dumb to know it. Usually what that is we can make a change, but you're trading one set of issues for another set of issues. They don't have Bill Fralick, showing my age, if that's the guy's name.
You remember the big club he had? He had like a club. Remember he wore he's one of the best collegiate offensive linemen I've ever seen. I was trying to come up with a badass college offensive lineman, and Bill Fralick from Pitt is who I came up with because I'm 90 years old. But he's not over there on the bench. You're just trading one set of issues for another. And I think the Carroll penalty is a good example of that. Formby struggled. Carroll's very inexperienced. And you're asking Michael Carroll to block a future NFL number one pick. And Michael Carroll was in high school 8 games ago. Yeah. It's tough. And he did. I mean, it was a legit penalty. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, I deserve that. So want to talk about some other positives, though, here in just a second. But I want to tell you about Mazda because I love Mazda. This episode is brought to you by Mazda, moving the game forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep moving the game forward. This week's moment that moved the game forward is, Jimmy, I'm going to say it's Deontay Lawson's caused fumble. That was
Fair.
so key. I can pick out some other ones. There's no doubt about it. But that one was incredible, and I felt so good for him. And to see the replay and to hear, I know we couldn't hear it, but I know he was saying, "Hey Tim, you're on the ball.
Tim,
you don't know it,
it.
and you might not can feel it, but you're on it." So look, no matter what, Deontay Lawson was a star tonight. I mean, yeah, he missed a tackle earlier, but that is all forgiven now. So even no matter what he goes through, that play will live on forever. So just absolutely incredible by Deontay Lawson. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Jimmy Stein guaranteed.
I do guarantee. Okay. I had a Mazda and I loved it. So
yeah, I know.
I did have a Mazda and I loved it. That is guaranteed.
If I ever were going to buy another car that wasn't the kind of car I always buy, I'd buy a Mazda. I'll say that. So
that's
a ringing endorsement.
Thumbs up.
Now, let me say this. I'm not saying I want to spin this positively. I will love Ryan Williams forever. You cannot make me unlove Ryan Williams. I don't care what he does.
It's a Ryan Williams show.
It's a Ryan Williams show. However, there is something amiss. And I want to say this. What I learned tonight was I need to appreciate Jeremy Bernard more. He had his first drop of the year tonight.
Yep.
That is ridiculous. And in fact, I said this earlier. I wasn't even mad he dropped it. I was almost like, oh my God, when I heard that stat, I was like, holy cow, that's pretty incredible. I'm not even mad you dropped this. I'm glad I just learned that stat. But Ryan Williams, I thought he unnecessarily jumped on a big play. The play across the middle where he jumped. Yeah. And at first I thought that was on time. Me and my buddy were sitting there like, that was on time. And then when they show the replay, I'm like, no, if Ryan catches that and just in stride, he
left his feet unnecessarily.
Yeah.
I think to me. I guess he's so concerned with making the catch. I think that making the catch has now become such a focal point for him that the playmaking sort of gets lost. I'm with you. This is still a Ryan Williams podcast, and it still is. But I think he's having a little bit. I don't want to say sophomore slump because that phrase doesn't mean anything because it's silly. But he's been injured. He's got this yips issue, the Seth McLaughlin snapping yips issue. I think he's got with some drops. I'm still not trading for too many players. I'm still not. And for those anyone that wants to give up on him, by the way, there's 134 other programs waiting with seven-figure checks.
Yeah.
7-figure checks. Don't give up on him. As far as Jeremy goes, again, I said it earlier in the show. I want to reiterate because it's that big a deal to me. You have good players. You even have great players. But like Jeremy has moved to the point that he's so good and so important. Then if you have picture like a little kid sitting in her lap, like, hey, Uncle Jimmy, why did Alabama make the playoffs in 2025? Because Jeremy Bernard plays for Alabama. I mean, he's that good. Jeremy is a reason that Alabama may make the playoffs and advance. Why? Jeremy Bernard. He's that good.
It's really unbelievable how much of a difference he is. And so I'm saying, it's still a Ryan Williams podcast.
We're still a Ryan Williams.
But Jeremy Bernard's that dude. And again, when we keep seeing that in a crucial moment, guess who we go to? And usually we go to him like we were going to give it to him in the Wildcat before they called timeout on one of the key plays earlier. It's like we just got to get the ball in his hands. Now Kirby Zebley 9991 whatever. Kirby Zebley, they can't be that many of y'all.
Is there 1,117 of him?
Yeah, that's a lot of y'all, Kirby.
Seems unlikely.
He mentioned that Pierre was a beast again. Totally agree. And then Lance Hunter 386 says Proctor from the 5 was dumb. 100%. Now
I couldn't agree more, Lance.
It's easy. Let's do it in a joking kind of fun manner because we won. And I don't understand. I really thought that was going to be a trick play. I'm like, no, we just got him back there for pass pro, right? I mean, we're just going to fake a handoff to him or something. But how on earth did we think he was going to get 5 yards? Maybe from the 4, but whatever.
To me, it's no different than like, well, it's 1st and 10 from the 40. There's a handoff to Proctor for a gain of 1. Like, no, there was a play late in the game. I think it was Alabama was down to the 2, and I'm like, now's the Proctor play. I mean, you're on the 2 or the 1. It makes all the sense. I didn't understand that, but at the same time, I'm ready for tonight to give a total pass to Ryan Grubb, who did reach into his bag of tricks, and I credit Ryan Grubb with a very creative, a winning 4th quarter, pulling the rabbit out of the hat. But for 3 quarters, I was like, my real worry for 3 quarters was we were going to come on the show and you were going to be talking about Ryan Grubb's t-shirt the whole show. And maybe deservedly so.
It was just medium.
I'm not the fashion police. Luke is. But it was a thing to me. I did comment during the broadcast that I'm not a fan.
The friends I was with, we were like, wow. I mean, but you can't really get on the offense. First of all, it was just showing him from the side. It didn't really show what was on it. But I was like, Ryan Grubb's got, I can't tell if those are like, daddy guns, like, or just workout guns. They were,
he works
and it was pulled up a little bit to like make sure, if you can't tell I'm packing heat, let me show you a little something.
It's funny to me that Alabama fans have, and again, people make fun of this all they want. Alabama fans and SEC fans have a reputation of they get dressed up to go to the games like it's Sunday church. I mean, that's kind of a thing. Get dressed up to go to the games, and then the coaches are dressed like they're changing the oil in the garage.
It's so funny. My daughter dates a kid that goes to Ohio State. It's her age, but and they both, she went to Alabama and he goes to Ohio State. And she brought him down last weekend for the Tennessee game. So great game for him to go to. And he had a blast and he was like, this is wild. He's been to some Ohio State games. I have too. And it's more of a downtown feel.
They wear jerseys up there to games.
They wear a lot of, he was like,
they wear jerseys.
He was like, and it's mostly men. Like down here, if we wear a jersey, it's like Louis Vuitton jersey that the women wear that looks awesome.
College girls wear it, but they also accessorize with literally hundreds or even thousands of dollars worth of stuff. But they wear their jerseys and it's cool. But the guys get sort of dressed up, and a lot of the women are dressed up. And I'm not making a thing of it, but I did laugh 2 or 3 times during the game going, oh, Luke is going to, if we lose this game, Luke is going to be talking about Grubb shirt.
Now
I'm the one talking about Grubb shirt.
There was an opportunity. I was going to let the OC slide, but and also because
bailed us out.
By the way, how bad were the graphics that ABC used to talk about the black hoodie of death? I was like, I told the people I was with, I was like, I think Jimmy Stein put these graphics together. I mean, I was like, that's some Microsoft Paint crap they got working.
Whoever designed the Kalen DeBoer on that graphic, if he ever does win a national championship, if he does, keep that person away from the statue. Please do not let that person who designed that graphic anywhere near the statue of DeBoer that we're putting outside. Not anywhere within a mile. That was terrible.
That is what Kalen DeBoer would look like if he were transitioning and then 70% of the way through, he decided, you know what, call it off. I'm just going to stay what I am.
Yeah. Quit mid-surgery.
It was just not a good. I was like,
it was not.
Dude, y'all did him wrong. I was like, that's very early edition of South Park animation right there. Y'all are ABC for the love of God.
Like I would think that Hugh Freeze put that together, but he wouldn't even be good enough. He wouldn't be good enough to put that together.
Somebody said Jefferson Pilot level graphics. Okay, now we're talking. I'm glad that we all are on the same page with this. I mean, that's good to hear. All right. We got to talk about some other heroes of the game. I mean, they're just almost too many to list. But right now, I want to tell you about DoorDash. I'm a threat to get some DoorDash later tonight. So I'm just letting y'all know in advance if they have a delay.
Do they deliver cigars?
No. Do we do cigars after South Carolina?
Hey, it's easy to get addicted, right?
It is. It's almost the weekend. Hell, it is the weekend. Time to look back and crown this week's MVP on who delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered the most. Let's break it down. For Alabama, Jeremy Bernard delivered in a big way with a fourth quarter touchdown, with actually 2 fourth quarter touchdowns, one of them rushing and one of them receiving. He was just absolutely clutch. And when the pressure was on, Jeremy Bernard came through, no hesitation and no delay. And just like Jeremy Bernard delivered on Alabama's team, DoorDash delivers for your Saturdays with DoorDash Streaks. You save every Saturday you order. Stack it up all season, and you could save up 250 smacks, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period through 11/18. And go check out DoorDash because, it's awesome. Then I'm going to tell you about FanDuel. Man, FanDuel's so much fun. I was telling some people about FanDuel and PrizePicks, who's also a sponsor, but the FanDuel, they're both so much fun. The NFL season is here, and it'll be on tomorrow, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get 300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love how FanDuel gives me so many ways to play. I've built parlays, tried player props, and even followed live lines throughout the games. It makes watching football even more exciting than it could possibly be imagined. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started with FanDuel. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, one point I want to reiterate. I talked about it earlier in the show, but I want to put 3 exclamation points behind this. If Alabama comes up short against LSU, and it's possible, they're very good. If you come up short against Oklahoma, it's possible, they're very good. If you lose at Auburn, as Luke described it on the ancient burial ground of the leprechauns, you lose that game. I know the immediate reaction is going to be, I can't believe they lost with so much on the line. You know what my reaction is going to be? Thank God Deontay Lawson pulled out that ball from the North Sellers in Columbia, South Carolina. That play, and then Jeremy Bernard's play at the end, and the heroes it took at the very end, that may have delivered Alabama to the playoff. Now you can afford, not that any of us want to see it happen, and I don't think it will, frankly, but now you can afford, you can lose to LSU, Oklahoma, or Auburn, one of those 3, and still get in for sure. You could possibly get in losing 2 of them, but let's not try. Let's not try that. Let's not test that.
Some things are. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but there's some things that are helping that regard. But let's move that over. I'm going to say this, that I think you're right, that's why this game was so key. I do a show in the mornings out of Alexander City, and I do it with some Auburn guys, and I said, what bothers me about the Iron Bowl? I feel like, especially after watching LSU now and watching Oklahoma earlier in the day, I feel like Alabama will win both those games. They'll beat Eastern Illinois, and then we go into the Auburn game, and we're pretty much locked in to the SEC championship game. I think. There a lot of things could happen, but and I'm thinking, man, I don't ever want to get to a part in life where we treat the Iron Bowl like week 17 of the NFL, and you've already clinched the division. I don't want to do that, and it worries me, and that's the thing about expansion that worries me. And and he was like, yeah, I could see that. I was like, but think about Auburn. If they had lost to Arkansas today, and they almost did, and they had made a change, you'd probably see some players be like, I'm bowing out because I'm transferring anyway, don't want to get hurt, whatever. And I hate this new era. It is what it is, but I'm just saying, I think that possibility is out there, maybe not this year, but in the future.
No, that's a great point, because you can't treat you as much as it's turning into the NFL. You can't treat the college rivalries, the college big games. It's a life of its own. We won the national championship in 2017. Alabama did, and one of the first things a lot of us think of when we think of 2017 is we won the national championship and we lost to Auburn. It's not like it diminishes the championship. It doesn't for me.
No.
It doesn't diminish the championship. But you do remember there was a loss to Auburn. You wouldn't remember so much if it was a loss to Mississippi State or Arkansas or Kentucky. It would be lost to the sands of time. But all the Auburn games are not. So, Horton got hurt, didn't return to the game. We don't know what the extent of his injury is yet. That is true. Isaiah Horton did not play in the second half. You're already down Latsier Brooks, We saw a lot of snaps in the game from Rico Scott, by far the biggest role he's played with Brooks out. By the way, we saw Rico in the slot quite a bit. I think Luke called it. He started in the slot. So Luke, I think, called that earlier that, hey, we might see some Rico there and not necessarily Ryan all the time. Proved true. Derek Meadows played some at wide receiver. Got to get Horton back. My guess is, based on how Horton looked when the game was over, I don't think his injury is going to be very serious. And again, I don't know. I hate putting this out there because I don't know for sure. But I think Latsier Brooks was just sick. I don't think he was hurt and injured, and this is something we got to watch. But I don't really know that, so nobody go run off with that. But I think Latsier Brooks is just ill a little bit.
I saw some kind of report about an ankle issue, but I mean, I don't know. I heard about the illness too.
That could be true.
I was scared to run with either one of them. But
yeah, it could be true.
T. Sharf says, "What's up, T. Sharf?" He says that Alabama lost these kind of games last year.
True.
That's 100%. That's 100%. And so you got to give credit for the growth to be able to win a game like this.
Culture.
And here's the other thing. We're going to be in more one-score games. Number one, that is sort of Kalen DeBoer's MO. If you go back to his Washington days, as good as they were, they won a lot of one-score games.
True.
And number two, the way the new rules are with everything, not only transfer portal, NIL, whatever, but also the clock rules. We talked about this last week, that because Jimmy, I talked about this earlier, and I want to get your thoughts on it. I was screaming at the television about the clock management on our, not our final drive. I guess the final drive would be Jeremy's running touchdown, but the drive that ended with Jeremy's receiving touchdown, I was screaming. I was like, we're acting like we got an 8-point lead. We were huddling. We were sort of like, we were still doing that thing where like Ty sends everybody wide or brings somebody in. And I was like, we don't have time to do this. I know we got 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning, but that drive took about 6 or 7 minutes. And I thought 3 or 4 wasn't necessary. It worked out. It just drove me nuts.
Yeah, let's see if we can get him on the show. I loved some tweets earlier this week from College Football Nerds. A lot of y'all listening probably follow the College Football Nerds account. I know Josh pretty well. He's one of the nerds. And let's get Josh on the show this week since it's an off week. And I want to get Josh on the show to specifically talk about the clock rule and how that is adding to the parity. So many people think, including, we've talked about it, that NIL and the portal is producing this parity. Josh is like, hey, hold on. The clock rules are too. And he made a lot of good points. So let's get him on the show this week to talk about that.
See a guest picking in his future.
Link to the Locked On shirt, Luke.
Well, that's this one. And all right, let me tell you the story behind this. Okay, I would love to have some Locked On Bama shirts, and we're efforting. But for now, I got this because Locked On sent me a link to it for my birthday like last year or something. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was for my anniversary working here or something. I can't remember. But they sent me a link, and so I'm mad enough to get this one and the other red T-shirt.
For the Locked On folks and not for the general public yet. But
yes,
there's some efforting going on to make.
I would love to. In fact, we don't think we hadn't had the idea to sell these mothers, but there are some hoops to jump through. And so, yeah, we would love to be able to let you guys do that. And at first, I was going to give this shirt away. Then I wore it, and I loved it. And I
can't give it away.
I can't.
Now you can't give it away. No one.
Now it's like that hat, which, by the way, I did give the hat away. And I sent it to a dude who tweeted that he was at South Carolina game today with the hat. And I was like, man, that's awesome. And then in the third quarter, he said, I'm burning this damn thing. So very fair. But we ended up winning. So hopefully he has not burned it yet. Or if he did burn it, I will send him more hats to burn for future games. Either way.
Yeah, those are sharp looking shirts. And thanks to Locked On. And we'll effort to make it available for you guys. Locked On shirts.
This is a shirt we might be doing.
I enjoy the Jimmy Stein guarantees, except I get really confused about those Rugiette commercial. When we do the Rugiette live reads and there's a Jimmy Stein guarantee, I get very frazzled because I'm not sure.
Gives you a lot to think about.
I'm not sure what I'm guaranteeing.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot on the line, and I think that's
a quality product that I everyone should use it.
The mystery makes it fun, Jimmy.
Everyone should use it. Yeah, but I'm not sure about my guarantee there. That's
all right. Let's wrap it up. We will be back tomorrow morning with another show. A lot to divulge, a lot to dig into.
We'll go negative tomorrow.
Well, man, you want to hear negative? We're bringing it tomorrow.
I've got some bitching and moaning to do.
I know, and it's good to bitch and moan after you win. So y'all, that's a positive. So I'm ending on a positive, technically. All right, that's going to do it. We'll catch you guys next time. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.